Who are you going to call if you get run over by an airplane and live to tell the story? A TV reporter called me one day and said that he had been doing a mom and pop story about a little airport operation and said he'd gotten run over by an airplane. And I was amazed that he had lived to tell me this story. And the story was that he had been told by the people that ran the airport to set his tripod for his camera right at the edge of the runway. And then the instructor and the student pilot were going to do what they call touch and go landings. A touch and go landing is just practicing how to land. So you come in, touch the ground, go back up, touch the ground, go back up, touch the ground, and then you fly off and you do a circle and come back and you practice your landing again until you can land the plane safely. So they had done that a couple of times, had gone past where my client was set up there at the edge of the runway. On this particular occasion, though, there was a gust of wind, and the airplane, as it came down for the touch and go, drifted too far to the side. Well, my client's staring through the viewfinder. He has no idea that he's in danger, but the tip of the wing hit him in his waist. And the only thing that saved him was that he was wearing one of those big rodeo belt buckles that prevented this wing from basically cutting him in two. And so that's what the case was about in terms of the facts. The important part of this case, though, is the fact that we had to do everything we could to hold an insurance company fully liable. And here's what happened. The insurance company only had $50,000 in liability insurance coverage. And we had demanded that they pay it about 8 times. And the insurance company and its lawyer had just ignored us. They wouldn't make a settlement offer. They would not even respond to these multiple settlement demands. And so the day came to try the case, and I traveled to the town that the case was filed in, showed up on Monday morning, ready to call my first witness. And the defense lawyer came running into the courtroom waving bankruptcy papers and telling the judge the case could not go to trial because the insurance company and its lawyer had put their insured into bankruptcy that morning. And there was an automatic stay provision in place. We couldn't move forward. And so the insurance company was willing to put its insured in bankruptcy because it didn't want to pay $50,000 to settle a case that was worth in excess of $50,000 on any day. And so what ended up happening was we held that insurance company liable fully because what they had to do then to settle the case was they had to pay the actual value of the case. So they ended up paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to settle a case where if they had just tendered their liability limits of $50,000, they would have saved themselves money. But their greed and willingness to put their insured into bankruptcy allowed us to hold them fully accountable for their wrongdoing. One of the things that really helped us in this case was that obviously our client was standing there filming as it happened. And so we had the entire event on tape. Back in those days, it was a VHS tape. And so we had the whole event on tape. What also helped was we had to prove the extraordinary amount of damages involved in the case. And a local TV reporter came to the scene when she heard on the police scanner about this event. Our client's camera was still laying at the scene. She took the tape out of the camera, put it in her camera, and filmed the aftermath, which included the airplane that was off the side of the runway, and there was a huge half-moon shaped hole in the front of the wing where it had wrapped around our client's waist. And there was also, because we had to prove how extensive the damages were, and this was important, there was video footage of a big pool of blood on the runway where our client laid until the medics got to him and rushed him off to the hospital. When an event happens, number one, the scene evidence can be extremely important. And if it's not preserved or at least documented in some fashion, photographic documentation, police investigation documentation, measurements taken, those kinds of things can be extremely important. Once the scene is changed, that evidence can be lost forever.